So I hope everybody's well. What I wanted to do today, and it's quite funny that I'm looking to record this video, is do a video on impatience and control. And what's really funny is on the journey to recording this video, there's been all manner of delays and what have you, and I'm kind of finding it quite amusing that I'm trying to talk about impatience, and I'm feeling quite impatient myself at the moment. So I suppose it's the best place to literally be in to record this video. Like I said, I wanted to talk about impatience and control. They're two topics that have come up in videos recently. And like I said, it's been an absolutely great journey just to get to record this video, because there's just like a massive ideas as to what I want to say, but because of the way it's been, I'm feeling really impatient. I'm kind of really feeling what I want to talk about. And, you know, I'm finding that it's something that's been coming up a lot for me over the last couple of months, and with a lot of people as well, because sometimes when we're going through some bad times, we just want those bad times to be over. And when we're in the depths of seeking and we're really trying to figure this out, impatience will always rear its head, as will control as well, because when we're out of control, all we want to do is to do anything to not feel out of control. So we tend to redouble our efforts to control the situation. That brings with it an impatience, because we're looking to, in a sense, get rid of this pain, this anguish that's going on and everything. But what we find is that when we resist it, it persists as well. So we find ourselves in a situation whereby the more we're trying to resolve the situation, the more we're compounding the situation and the stronger it's getting. And it's literally a question of how do we let go of impatience, how do we let go of control, and how do we let go of this resistance that prevents us from clear seeing of who we truly are. And I suppose the first thing to do is just literally stop and just to take a deep breath and to give yourself just some space, to just be by yourself, you know, without the issue, to just put that down for a second and just take that breath in order to just release and just to relax. And then allow ourselves to just slowly but surely stop, so that we can, you know, we can literally take in the gravity of the situation. And what we tend to find is when we allow ourselves to slowly stop, what we may find is that the issue that's really confusing us or is creating this anguish isn't as bad as we thought. We're not in the throes of it, because we've, in a sense, by stopping, just detached from it. And what we can then do is just look at this issue completely and passively. And if we can allow ourselves to do that, what we may find is solutions will just occur. In that place, and it's a real place of trusting as well, what we may find is that we realize that controlling or trying to make things happen is really just preventing us from really seeing who we really are, and it's just compounding that resistance. Like I said, I mean, you know, I've been trying to record this video. I recorded one, it felt just right, and then it just didn't. And I could feel myself feeling really impatient, and I thought, well, okay, I'll record it while I'm feeling like this, because then it's literally demonstrating what happens when we're trying to control, when we're trying for things to be perfect. And as much as we strive for that perfection, what we find is we find ourselves going more and more towards imperfection. We find ourselves going more and more towards resistance. And it's whether we can just stop really and just literally allow ourselves to take a breath and to just literally just be. And in that being, what we may find is that sense of relaxation that occurs allows us to let go of the problem for a little while, and literally just allow ourselves to just sit with ourselves as we truly are, without wanting to control, without wanting a solution to happen. And instead what we find is we find ourselves opening up to the wonder and the mystery of life. And in that opening, you know, to that wonder and to that mystery, we may find that we find ourselves held so beautifully by the beloved, and we find ourselves safe, and we find ourselves secure. And then we find ourselves open to those moments that we could never have planned, that we could never have controlled, that regardless of how much we were trying to control this, it could never have worked out the way it's worked out now. So for example, this video is just working out in a way that I couldn't have imagined. Whereas this morning I had all these great ideas, and then one thing leads to another. And it's whether we can see that this is our natural way of being, and that we have to let go of these conditioned responses to try and make things work, to try and control the outcome. Because what we'll invariably find is that we have a plan, and then life has a plan, and life is pretty much the best of planners, and is always really looking to help us reveal ourselves to ourselves. And it's why we go through these trials and tribulations. It's why we go through all of these problems on this way, because it's literally just shedding away these layers of conditioning, these patterns that we have in place that have served us so well, until we start seeing that I'm not this limited body mind, I'm not this idea, I'm not this set of patterns or conditioning. And that can be quite an awkward place to be. And our conditioned responses in our mind will react by trying to control the situation more, or being impatient and looking for resolution, because we don't like pain. We've been conditioned to turn away from pain, that whole fight or flight syndrome. And it's an awkward place for us to be. And yet in that awkwardness and that uncomfortableness, we may find that we see more of ourselves. But again, conditioning being the way it is, the role of the mind being the way it is, our ideas on spirituality being the way they are as well, we find that, we would want bliss, but we wouldn't want the uncomfortableness. It's like saying I want perpetual sunshine, but never want to face the rain. And yet we speak about the ebb and flow of life, and yet we speak about the wound is where the light enters. And yet when it is our time to really dive deeply into that wound, into that pain, we do everything we possibly can to control that, to resolve it as quickly as possible. And we find that instead of just accepting and really allowing ourselves to feel the awkwardness and then allowing it to just pass as and how it wishes to, we prolong our suffering, we prolong our agony, we try to move away from the problem. And it's purely impatience, because we just want our results now, and we don't want to put in the work. Or it's just control, because there's this whole idea of control, the law of attraction, self-help. It's all about a brave new future that we create. We create ourselves. I remember watching this Tony Robbins videos years ago, and it was like, he was beating his chest and saying, I made me. And that just reinforces this idea, and it's through society that if we do this, we'll get to this. And it creates these record levels of stress and depression and mental health issues, because we're so trying to do. And while we're trying to do from this place of limitedness, from this place of mind, from this place of body-mind, we are denying such a huge aspect of ourselves, which allows ourselves to always be in this place of now, in this place of presence, and in this place of openness where whatever occurs. And what we may find is that there's very little resistance in this place, because we're completely accepting. And when we do that, we find that life just resolves so many of our issues, so many of our problems, if we would but just let go of this idea of control and let go of this idea of impatience. Like I said, I've been known for control and obviously being quite impatient. And the last couple of months I've seen a lot of changes in what I'm doing, and a lot of control has disappeared, and I'm having to be a lot more patient. Like today, I'm meant to be recording this video this morning, and somehow it's already got to afternoon, and I'm thinking what's going on, and yet here I am now, I'm recording a video, I'm thinking, oh, I kind of quite like this. So there's always a lesson. We can always deepen our appreciation of what is, and we can always lessen our control and our impatience, and let go of this whole idea of trying to do something, or how. I had this wonderful woman who used to come to my talks, and we talk for hours, absolutely hours, but there would always be this how there. And it was like, do you not realize that how is that veil, is that barrier that's obstructing you from clear seeing? Can we put it down? And her story was that she literally used the law of attraction to manifest the life that she always wanted. So can we undo that conditioning? Can we put down that which is familiar and comfortable to us, and go into the unfamiliar? And that can feel awkward, and that can feel quite scary and terrifying. But if we allow ourselves to fully experience those emotions, fully experience everything we need to experience, we may find that it's really the entry, the gateway to seeing a much more bigger version of ourselves. Not even a bigger version, just seeing a much more expansive version of who we truly are. So can we let that go? Can we let go of these ideas of impatience or control, and allow ourselves really just to surrender to this ebb and flow of life, to this wonderment, to this mystery? Because what we may find is things work out so much more better. As I said in one of my previous videos, I've been going through this wonderful thing of delays, even though there is no such a thing as delay, but we'll just play with the idea. Whereas I wanted something to happen on a certain timescale, and it's happened a lot later, but it's happened in a way that was so much better than anything I could have imagined. So if we let go, if we trust, and if we can become aware of our impatience and our control, and literally look to put these conditioned patterns down, we may find that life works out in so much of a better way. Like I said, there's been several attempts to record this video. There's been all these delays, and I'm happy with what I've said and the results. And yet, at the same time, life being the way it is, I'm already thinking, okay, how can this be clearer? But again, it's not my need. It's not my need to know how that will happen now. Just by accepting, we may find that whatever is simply is. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to say about that, really. If you are enjoying the content, please do subscribe to the channel. And if you have any video suggestions, please do get in touch as well. It's always great hearing from you guys, and it's always great getting suggestions for videos as well. And it also allows that trail that we seem to be on together, these last couple of videos, to just expand and to just kind of go into depth and what have you. And no doubt over time it will go into something specific. But again, taking away this idea of trying to do something or control impatience, I'm sure that will happen as and how it needs to happen. So have a great day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video, and I will catch you on the next video.